Okay, thank you so much. So can I confirm that the candidate is back in the room?
I am here.
Yes, awesome. So please display the results on the screen. Awesome. Okay, so the results can be seen on the screen, and I would like to congratulate Ms. Natalia Skora for being elected as the next chairperson of Internal Relations for the mandate 2021-2022. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank you for your trust and have a great session. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalia. Okay, guys, so for the next agenda points, the applicants for SAP and external are not available for this session. And we also, what I forgot to mention, we also cannot have incoming motions as we received some of them today, and motions committee still had to review them and send the feedback email. So we still have not all incoming motions received corrected. So therefore we cannot have incoming motions for now. We will have them at the next session. And so the only option is to close this session earlier and move on with the next session on Sunday. So is the General Assembly fine with that? Okay, I have a new point by BPSA UK.
Sebastian, BPSA UK. Why can't we discuss the motions that were received on time? Thanks.
Because we received the corrected versions today quite late and we could not upload them already. And it would mean splitting the agenda point in a way, because we still haven't received all corrected versions as we had the deadline today. We have a direct by BPSA UK.
SEB UK. If then in that case, why can't we just do the ones that have been done correctly and then table the agenda point so that we can do the rest at a later date? Thank you.
Well, yeah, thank you, BPSA. Well, we cannot table an agenda point. It would mean we would split it, because incoming motions are all in motions by member organizations. That's how we as GA team discussed it, but let me check once again with them if that is even possible. Thank you. Okay, we have a clarification from BPHC Germany.
Yes, Max BPHC Germany. I see you're already trying to figure this out, but if we don't finish on time, we would postpone the incoming motions to tomorrow anyways, right? So I don't see where there's an issue. But of course, if you're still finding out, no pressure. But I just wanted to bring up that point. Thank you.
No, like the point was that we still have time left on this session, but however, we would need to split the agenda point, which is not a usual thing. But I will assess the General Assembly to type in the chat with a Y or a no if you would like to have the incoming motions by member organizations who are already discussed now, or if you would like to have them all together at the next session. So why for yes, having those motions who are prepared, having them at this session, no for moving everything to the next session. Okay, so far we have mixed feelings about it. We will try to assess the majority, discuss with the GA team how we'll move on. We have a clarification from ASAP Algeria.
Thank you, Elena. Kenza from IPSF Algeria. So in this case, how many correct motions do we have? Thank you.
So far we have 3, I think. Yes, we have 3.
Thank you.
So once again, I don't see anyone typing. From what I see, give me. Okay, so we assessed and the majority is for moving on with the corrected motions. However, we have proposals that stated a no. So we are a bit mixed feeling how to proceed with that. But I guess as majority voted for or majority stated Y in the chat, we will move on with the incoming motions. We just need a second. Thank you. Okay, so thank you so much for your patience. We had to move the motions to the parliamentarian system and update the NEMA vote. So can we have the first motion of member organizations on the screen, please? Okay, so the first motion we received was from PPSA Poland, seconded by IPSA Lebanon, which reads motion 51. This, the 67th IPSF General Assembly mandates the IPSF Chairperson of Professional Development in collaboration with professional development coordinators to share the final dates of each professional development competition with draft promotion materials at least 3 weeks before the event takes place. Additionally, finalized materials shall be published at least 1 week before the event. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed and shall be reviewed by the 68th IPSF General Assembly. Before I open the floor, I would kindly ask the proposer and the seconder to give a short motivation. So PPSA Poland.
Hi, Michał, PPSA Poland. To give just a brief clarification, we just wanted to propose this motion as we have noticed that the PD events during this mandate were sometimes appearing a little bit out of the blue. And we believe that thanks to this amendment, organization of the events will run more smoothly, and because of proper prior promotion materials and generally proper promotion among the member organizations, it will also spark greater interest to the benefit of the federation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, PPSA. And seconder is IPSA Lebanon.
Yes, Rana, IPSA Lebanon. So as Mr. Michal said, there were some issues with overlap and calls being sent too close to the date of the event, which was overwhelming, which is why we decided to have this motion. This will help us overcome that, and applying it should not be too difficult as it is in accordance with Ms. Sara's, the upcoming chairperson of the PD plan. So yes, thank you very much.
Okay, and with this, I will open now the floor for discussion on this motion. Okay, we have a new point by BPSA UK.
Sebastian, BPSA UK, this is a good motion. It was really frustrating through the mandate when you got information literally a couple of days before the event and made it virtually impossible to promote things to our members. So this is a bit of a no-brainer for me. Thank you.
Okay, next we have a new point by ANEP France.
Théo Favard, ANEP France. In ANEP, one of our biggest problems was the short deadlines. We represent 24 universities and we cannot do effective communication and promotion when we receive the information a few days or a week before the start. So we fully support this motion and find the proposed deadline relevant. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ANEP. Next we have ASAP Algeria.
Oh yes, thank you, Yelena. Kenza from IPSF Algeria. So yes, actually, it's a good motion since it allows a better organization. But actually, I have a question. Like, what were the reasons that the reasons why the material, etc., was shared too close to the date of the event? Thank you.
Sorry, Asapa, could you repeat your question a bit louder? And also, who do you address this question?
Thank you. So actually the chairperson of professional development, if the previous chairperson of professional development, if he is here, so what are the reasons that led to share the dates, I mean the events too close to the date of the actual events? Thank you.
Okay, we will check if the PD chairperson is here. Thank you. Okay, so the chairperson of professional development is not here. I don't know if anyone else from EXCO has an answer to this. I see Sarah with a direct. Sarah?
Yes. Okay. So it was somehow difficult because the sponsorship was a little bit difficult for the online events. So it took longer than usual to find sponsors for some competitions. Also, concerning the CE, because I was involved a lot in the CE competition this year, we suffered from lack of speakers, so we had to postpone the event 2 times until we found a speaker, so and a sponsor. So yeah, these are the reasons that I saw. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. We have a new point. Asapa, no, but up of Portugal?
It's a drop. Thank you.
Oh, it's a drop. Once again, can we update the speakers list so far? Oh, okay. Okay, so Osama lost connection. Can we have someone else sharing the screen? Okay, he's back again. And I see a new point by AFAB Austria.
Annika, AFAB Austria. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. We would just like to ask what kind of effects this motion could have on other departments apart from professional development. Thank you. If this question is possible.
So to clarify, you ask what other departments could be involved in this motion?
If this has any effect on something else apart from professional development on any other coordinators. I'm not sure if I'm really clarifying this properly. Sorry.
So you mean like, could you clarify again, like what other departments, you mean what other departments might affect the deadline, or what other departments might affect the
Might be affected by the deadline, but if the question doesn't work, we drop. I mean, fine.
Okay, Sarah, we have a clarification from Sarah.
Yes, thank you, Jen. I'm just concerned if it's a question regarding the motion, like it's like Rana said, is it going to affect the other portfolios, the other promotion for the other portfolios, or which is your concern exactly? What is your concern exactly? Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, would you like to clarify your question, Afab?
Annika, right? Can I just speak, or do I have to put myself in the speaking list?
No, you can clarify the question if you want to. Okay. Okay.
We were wondering if, for example, for media, this would mean something more complicated, but we think that we might have misunderstood something. So we would like to drop our question. That's possible. And we are sorry for the confusion.
Okay, no worries. Next we have a new point by GPSA Ghana.
Priscilla, GPSA Ghana. Okay, well, I think my question was quite similar to hers. I wanted to know how this would influence or affect promotion, particularly media and publications in any way. Because if it's coming way earlier, like, what's their contribution to it? Is it affecting them positively? Is it affecting them negatively? Like, what's the relationship? We'd like to know. Thank you.
Okay, we have a direct by Joao.
Joao, IPSF president. So basically, the media and publications will need to have the same time to prepare all the materials. What this would require will be for the PD portfolio to inform the media and publications well in advance. So basically what usually is done is that the media publications in the beginning of the mandate, they define some deadlines for the proposals and the requests for designs to be made. And basically media and publications will work the same way. They receive the request and they have a given time to prepare the materials. This will be another a bigger concern for the PD, not for the media and publications, as I see it. Thank you.
Okay, so I hope this clarified GPSA and AFAB's question, I believe, now. So far, I don't see any new points on this motion. And once again, I will ask if there are any new points. If I don't see any new points on the speakers list, I will close the floor for discussion on this motion. Okay, as I see no new points, I will close the floor for discussion on this motion and we can move to voting procedure. Thank you. Okay, so the vote has been opened and you have 5 minutes to vote. Okay, so far we have still now IPSF Egypt, BPHD Germany, and QT Qatar left to vote. Kifus Qatar. But yeah, no, we closed the vote, the time elapsed. And we will share the results on the screen soon. Okay, can we have the results on the screen? Okay, so we have 27 for, 0 against, and 1 abstention. Therefore, the motion passed. And we can move on with the next motion. Okay, so the next motion is motion 52. This, the 67th IPSF General Assembly mandates the Executive Committee to submit an annual progress report on the IPSF strategic plan to the IPSF member organizations at the General Assembly. The annual progress report on the strategic plan concerning the mandate 2020-2021 shall be presented to member organizations by the 1st of October 2021. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. Can I have the proposer for motivation?
Yes, Pedro Fernandes, ABF Portugal. So this year, a progress report on the European Regional Office Strategic Plan was implemented and submitted to the Regional Assembly for approval. And we considered it of much importance on providing...
Sorry, ich habe nichts. Löschen bitte.
Sorry.
Wir haben schon einen Second da. Er hat mir nur geschrieben.
BPHD not unmuted.
Yes. So we considered this this progress report of much importance on providing an overall vision of IPSF Euro accomplishments regarding the strategic plan, as well as giving crucial information for the next mandate. So we believe this strategy could be also implemented at a global level. As you know, the strategic plan is a key document which defines the IPSF vision and the main goals to be achieved in the next years. And to guarantee this, we see that the final revision is not enough. This plan must be analyzed every mandate, and conclusions must be drawn mainly to guarantee the goals are being continuously accomplished, act upon and develop strategies annually to assure this plan is being taken in consideration by all executive members in their portfolios. This document will help the upcoming teams to better define the mandate's vision, and finally to create a repertoire for the development of the next strategic plan. The president-elect would be the main responsible to coordinate the development of this progress report, and all the executive committees members would contribute to the analysis concerning their own portfolios. We have contacted Mr. Osama, the previous president-elect and the current president of IPSF, who have gave us a positive feedback on this motion, and also referred that this motion will not increase that much the workload of the president-elect portfolio, so that will not be a challenge. Finally, since the IPSF strategic plan 2003 was already implemented, and to have data from this year, we also request the development of the first progress report on the year 2021 to be achieved and shared with MOs by the 1st October, again, to have data on this mandate. Thank you.
Okay, so we have, can we go, we cannot, sorry, I forgot the seconder. Seconder, please, if you have any motivation, you feel free to do so.
Rana IPSF Lebanon, so I do not have much to add to what Mr. Pedro said. He put it very well. IPSF is seconding this motion because we see the relevance and we completely agree with what Mr. Pedro said. In addition, we acknowledge that we have received a progress report on the 2017-2020 strategic plan in 2020. However, only so much detail can be captured when the time span being discussed is 3 years. So that's why we believe yearly updates would be a lot better. And a clear assessment can be made with these updates, giving the upcoming EXCO a great base to build on for their mandate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have a new point by GPSA Ghana.
I'm Priscilla, CP GPSA Ghana. I just want to ask that, well, it's an interesting proposal that has been made. I want to know how feasible is this in real time? Yes, if you're doing it yearly, then as was said by LPSC Lebanon, then maybe there's a lot of detail. But I don't think they compound everything for 3 years. They work on it yearly, but maybe it's released after 3 years or something. So I want to know how feasible is this in real time, and it will really put a lot of load on the secretary. Yeah, thank you.
So GPSA, you addressed the question to the executive committee?
Yes.
Okay. Can I, do I have any direct from the executive committee? Oh, sorry. I have a direct by Osama Madadi. Please take the floor.
Osama, President-elect. Well, regarding the question by GPSA Ghana, the strategic plan is followed on by the executive committee on a yearly basis, where at the end of each 3-year, we do share a certain evaluation of the progress made on each and every strategic plan. So this would only change the format on which the information on the progress is passed between each and every executive committee between the first and second year of the implementation of said strategic plan. So instead of an internal Google Sheet that contains what has been achieved in the mandate, we would be asked to develop that into a long document and share it with the General Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you, Osama. Next, we have a direct by Isaac, IPSF Secretary General.
Isaac, Secretary General. To add on to what Osama said, for the second part of the motion, which is that the one concerning this mandate be presented by 1st of October. It's going to be a lot of work because we don't have a draft yet, and 1st October is like a month and so many weeks away. And usually this takes a lot of time to prepare because you need to arrange it properly and not just on a Google Sheet sort of way, but it has to be a document which is a bit bulky. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, IPSF Executive Committee. Next, we have a new point by BPHD Germany.
Yes, Max, BPHD Germany. We would like to say that BPHD Germany is fully for this motion as well, because we believe that it's going to help the structure and the productivity in general, and also why we believe that the president-elect should do it and not any other position is because that way the president-elect also can get in touch much better with the working plan of the whole team for his subsequent mandate, which is usually the plan for the president-elect. And also there needs to be a position that has enough impact in the EXCO or in general in the IPSF team. And the president-elect exactly fits that position. So that's why we also think he's the ideal person, with of course the time also being the fact the wider section cannot do it. Thank you.
Thank you, BPHD Germany. Just as a clarification, the motion does not state anywhere that the IPSF president-elect should do it, but mandates the executive committee. So it's always up to, yes, what the motion mandates them to, and this is not defined exactly by which position. Next, I don't see anyone right now on the speaking list. If you have any new points, please register through the Google form. I see a new point by AFAP Austria.
Thank you, Jelena. I would like to address my question to the EXCO, and my concern is that as we move back to offline GAs, I think it might be more efficient to keep the email thread. So I would like to know what the EXCO thinks about this. Thank you.
Okay, do I have any directs from EXCO? We have a clarification by João. João, what clarification? João, can you speak, or what? Okay, direct clarification by BPSA UK.
Asking BPSA UK, why does AFOP think that having an in-person GA would not allow this to happen? That's why I'm confused. Thanks.
AFAP, could you clarify?
Thank you, Larissa, AFAP Austria. I just think that the agenda of the GA is usually already packed, and this might add even more. And yeah, it's just a bit much. Thank you.
Okay, so a direct from BPSA UK.
Bastian, BPSA UK. So GA is normally spread over several days, from like 8 o'clock in the morning to about 6 o'clock at night, which is plenty of time to get through a lot of stuff. Most of the time comes from voting, which used to be in person in like paper form. but now it's going to be electronic voting. So I think that a lot of the time reasons are pretty much solved now for in-person GAs going forward. Thanks.
Okay, we have a direct by João.
João, IPSF president. I mean, you know how GAs are working and that the agenda is quite packed, but it's also a question of priority. If you think this should be discussed at GA, they will have to manage it. I don't think that this should be a main concern. If you really think that this should be done at the GA, we will need to manage it. Thank you.
Okay, clarification by Asap Algeria.
Thank you, Elena. So my question is this shall not be discussed during the GA. So do you have an idea when this can be discussed? Thank you.
Is this directed to the EXCO or?
No, to Austria.
Okay, AFAP Austria. AFAP.
Annika, AFIP Austria. We think that in an email thread like it worked very well last time is also sufficient enough. Thank you.
Okay, so did this answer your question, Asapa?
Actually, I didn't really understand. Could you please repeat your answer? Thank you.
Annika, AFIP Austria, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So we think that as it worked very well last time in an email thread, we could keep it like that. Like it would be sufficient enough, and it doesn't need to be added to the agenda. Thank you.
Okay, I hope, Asapa, that was clarified.
Yes, thank you.
And so far, I don't see any new points or directs in the chat. Sorry, on the speakers list. Once again, if you have any new points or directs, please register through the speakers list. If not, I will close the floor for discussion. Okay, I see no one on the speakers list, so therefore I will close the floor for discussion on this motion and we can move to voting procedure. Thank you. Okay, so the vote has been opened. Okay, so far we still have CAPSI, Canada, NAPSA, Serbia, and BPSA UK left. Only NAPSA, Serbia left. Please vote as soon as possible. Okay, so we cannot find NAPSA in the room. NAPSA, if you're in the room, please say something, otherwise we will suspend your voting rights immediately. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. So the voting is closed now, and we will show the results on the screen. And the results can be seen on the screen. We have 24 in favor, 24 against, and 2 abstentions. Therefore, motion 52, this the 67th IPSF General Assembly mandates the Executive Committee to submit an annual progress report on the IPSF strategic plan to the IPSF member organizations at the General Assembly. The annual progress report on the strategic plan concerning the mandate 2020-2021 shall be presented to member organizations by the 1st of October 2021. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. And the motion was carried. Thank you, and we can move on to the next motion. Okay, can we have the motion a bit differently displayed? Not sure if everyone can read it. So I'll read it. Motion 53 is basically this the 67th IPSF General Assembly amends the IPSF official documents as follows. We have the agenda points that are stated in the official documents, like adopt the report, to receive and approve the annual progress, and then after to receive and, if approved, adopt the annual report of the IPSF team coordinators. There is an added part, which is 3.6.13, to receive and approve, and if approved, adopt the annual progress report on the IPSF strategic plan. So basically, it's a follow-up on the last motion, only an amendment to the official documents to have the annual progress report on the IPSF strategic plan in the agenda. And I would like to give the proposer and seconder the opportunity to state the motivation.
In Portugal, as Jelena said, this is a follow-up on the previous motion, as we find it is useful to discuss this document in the GA. And if the problem would be the document is too long and it would take too long to discuss, I remember that this document can be presented 2 weeks before, and the form can be shared with EMOS to leave the comments that can be answered through until the time of GA, so it can reduce the time of discussion. So I think that it's not a problem at all. Thank you.
Okay, IPSA Lebanon, do you have anything to add?
Rana, IPSA Lebanon, no, nothing to add to that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So yes, now I will open the floor for discussion on this motion. And I will give it some time, but if I see no one on the speakers list, I will then close the floor for discussion on this motion, and we can move to voting procedure. Thank you. Okay, so the vote has been opened, and if you don't mind, the NEMA vote is not showing it like a list because it's like very long. But yeah, I hope you understand what the motion is about. It's just basically adding this one point. So yeah, thank you. Okay, so we have ends up so New Zealand and IPSA Iran left. Please vote as soon as possible. Okay, so we only have NZAPSO New Zealand left. Please vote as soon as possible, and if you have any difficulties, please let us know. Thank you. Okay, so everyone has voted. We can now close the vote and show the results on the screen. Thank you. Okay, so the results can be seen on the screen. It's motion 43, 24 in favor and 1 against, 0 abstentions. Therefore, the motion passed. And we can move on to our last motion for the day. Give me a sec. Okay, so we have realized that we also have a fourth motion. So it is a motion proposed by Jura, and as we only have 10 minutes left on this session, we would kindly assess the General Assembly if they want to take this motion now or if they want to have it as in the next session. Okay, I see mostly why, therefore we will move on. So it reads motion 54. This, the 67th IPSF General Assembly mandates the individual membership fee to be reimbursed after an individual member completes a successful mandate as an IPSF team member. This reimbursement being scaled for the duration of the corresponding mandate that was successfully completed. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. And for this for the motivation, I would kindly give the floor to the chairperson of Euro. Thank you.
Hello everyone, Bram Wagner, IPSF chairperson of the European Regional Office. So this was proposed by the member organizations of the European region in order to make it possible for our members that are soon graduating to still run for IPSF team positions. And we, as a region, believe so that by doing this, we can keep our members engaged in the work of IPSF for a longer time, and it will take away one more barrier for people to stay involved, a financial barrier. By doing this, we believe that people that would otherwise maybe concluding their careers in IPSF may have an incentive to stay involved for a longer time. So I believe that's it for the motivation, and I'm here to answer any questions if needed.
Thank you, Bram. And I open the floor for discussion on this motion. And we have a new point by GPSA Ghana.
Priscilla, CP GPSA Ghana. I would like Luca to give us his view on this. Thank you. In its feasibility, I mean, yeah.
Okay, Luca, would you like to give a direct on this?
Yes, thank you. Okay, so one thing that I think is not well defined here is that it is not defined what will happen with transfer fees. If IPSF should cover the transfer fees, or if transfer fees would have to be covered by the person who is getting reimbursed. Other than transfer fees, okay, I can give you just objective information how it will affect the budget. So this would a bit reduce, of course, the individual membership fee income for the amount reimbursed, and depending what would happen with transfer fees, yes, maybe the transfer fee budget would have to be increased. So yes, these are the main differences that might be affected.
Okay, thank you, Luca. So far, I don't see any new points or directs. Okay, we have a new point by ASAP Algeria.
Thank you, Elena Kenza from ASAP Algeria. So my question is, will this motion be applied regardless the activity, the activeness of the member? Thank you.
Do you address this to the chairperson of Euro?
Yes.
Okay, so Bram, could you? Yes, Bram, go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. Sorry, I don't have the link for the form currently. But as it reads in the motion, the reimbursement will only take place for the duration of the corresponding mandate that was successfully completed. So they would need to have the reports accepted by GA or RA in order for them to receive the reimbursement.
Okay, we have a direct by BPSA UK. First, we have a clarification by FGC PPHA Philippines.
Bill, FJCPHA Philippines. I would just like to clarify what does the term IPSF team member mean? Because if it involves the subcommittee members, I believe they don't have the reports that will be accepted by the member organizations. Thank you.
Yes. So just to clarify, IPSF team member means everything that is stated in the official documents, and this also means the subcommittee members. Okay. We have João, I don't know if a new point or point of information or what is this? Because I have to put you in the new points list if it's a new point. Because now we have a direct from BPSA UK.
Sebastian, BPSA UK. Regional Working Group subcommittee members have a report that has to be approved at the Regional Assembly. Thank you.
Okay, we have a direct by FGC-PPHA Philippines.
Bill, FJCPHA Philippines. So I know that the other, like in April and in Global, the subcommittee members, they don't really have the reports that are accepted in the assembly, as well as some team members, I believe, become quite inactive during the middle of the mandate, even though they cannot, like they are not kicked out of the subcommittee. So I was just wondering, how can we have a strategy to prevent that from happening, and they'll be considered successfully completing their mandate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have a direct by BPSA UK.
Asking BPSA UK, in these cases, if someone isn't performing the roles, their job responsibilities, then their report wouldn't be accepted by the Regional Assembly, and therefore they wouldn't receive a reimbursement on their individual membership fee. Thank you.
Okay, just as a clarification, BPSA UK, what FGC PPHA Philippines meant is that not all regional assemblies have the agenda point of approving any reports of subcommittee members. So yes, we certainly know that AFRO and APRO did not have this agenda point of subcommittee reports accepted. Okay, next, can we go back to the new points? Next, we have a new point by BPSA UK.
Just as a point of information, there are 48 individual members this year, and out of the 48, 3 of them were on IPSF teams. Thank you.
Thank you, BPSA UK. Next, we have João, IPSF President.
IPSF President. So just to give a bit, because Luca was discussing like the technical parts, we also as EXCO wanted to provide our opinion in general about this. While in principle we mostly agree with it, we think that in the end this might not be fair, or this actually won't be fair for the regular members that we have in IPSF, as most of them have to pay fees to have the perks of being part of IPSF, and they do so through the member organizations, and this is not going to be reimbursed to them, while for the individual members it would. So this is something that we need to understand, like what's the goal of the federation. So we are not an association, we are a federation. Our goal is to have our members, our students represented through member organization, and as an exception when this is not possible, to provide still the opportunity through individual membership. Our goal in the end, like in 100 years, is not to have any individual member, because there is no need for that. Because all our member organizations will be representing all the students in this planet. So like we just need to be aware that all the decisions that we make regarding reducing sources of income, it will mean that the burden will be divided by the other sources of income. And in this case, this initiative would be unfair in the way that it would only apply for individual members, but for the members that are regular members through our member organizations, they will still need to pay for the fees. Another thing is that, let me not try to forget, is that, okay, yeah. So the fees for IPSF, it's not necessary, like the fees for IPSF is for them to be part of our activities, to be able to participate in our events, to be able to participate in SEP, and also to be able to participate in the team. It's not only to be part of the team. So this is something that you also need to be considering. Thank you.
Thank you, João. We have a direct by BPSA UK.
Sebastian, BPSA UK. Regardless, this is an opportunity for IPSF to remove barriers from their part of the individual membership. It's a whole different debate about what member organizations do with their membership fees and how they regulate their membership, and let's not go into that. We have the opportunity to remove barriers now, and as to run in these IPSF team positions, you need to have individual membership if you're not represented by a membership organization. So this is the opportunity to remove barriers from our side, from IPSF side. Thank you.
Okay, we have a new point by KMPSV, the Netherlands.
Yes, thank you, Henrik, KMPSV, the Netherlands. So we just want to reiterate that this motion is especially for individual members who don't have much funds at all, to make it reasonable to stay involved with IPSF. So for them, this reimbursement would mean a lot. And for example, something like this, like the transaction fees are really nothing for IPSF with the huge reserves. So just to make that clear, thank you.
Okay, thank you, KMPSV. Next, we have GPSA Ghana.
I'm Priscilla, GPSA Ghana. So my question to the proposers, whoever can take this up, is I think when you talk about complete a successful mandate with reports being accepted and everything, you should really have a clearer inclusion and exclusion criteria, because successfully completed is relative. So we should have this, and this is quite a serious, motion that you're proposing right now. So I think that there should be a strict inclusion and exclusion criteria. So yeah, so yes, to the proposers, can you account for this, please? Is there a strict inclusion and exclusion criteria for this? Because as I said, successful mandate is very relative. Thank you.
Okay, can I have Bram? Would you like to give a direct on the question of GPSA Ghana?
Can it please be clarified? Sorry.
GPSA Ghana, could you once clarify your question to the proposer?
Yes, please. That's okay. Okay, so Priscilla, GPSA Ghana. So my question is, with regards to complete a successful mandate. Okay, I think rather it should be an amendment I'm making right now, that if complete a successful mandate is relative, and it can be relative for everyone. So I think that you should have a strict inclusion and exclusion criteria to this, because it can be very relative. Thank you. So I think it's rather an amendment I'd like them to make. Yeah, thank you.
So in the opinion of the region, the wording of the motion is already sufficient, because it's quite clear when the mandate has been successfully completed. In the case of an EXCO member or regional working group member, the report would need to be accepted in the RA or GA. And in case of other team members, the EXCO or the treasurer is always free to decide whether the mandate has been successfully completed or not. And also this motion has been approved by the motions committee for submission, and they didn't find any loopholes in terms of this point that you are raising.
Okay, next we have a new point by IPSF team member Sarah.
Thank you, Jelena. Sarah Ibrahim, IPSF training coordinator and also an individual member. So as we're trying to engage more individual members in the IPSF activities, I'm just concerned that this will affect the selection of individual members in the IPSF team in case of cutting budget, for example. So what measures should be taken to control this concern? Thank you.
Do you address this question to the proposer or?
Yes.
Okay, Bram.
Sorry, can you please clarify it again?
Sarah, could you clarify the question? Repeat the question again. Thank you.
Yes, no problem. So just because we're trying to engage more individual members in the IPSF activities and IPSF team, I'm just concerned that having a member labeled as individual member might affect their selection for the committee or for a coordination position, especially in case of having like to cut the budget or something. So that will affect their selection. So what kind of measurements or criteria are you recommending to apply in this situation to avoid this from happening?
Thank you. Can I go?
Yes, Bram.
Okay, so I don't think whether somebody would be reimbursed for their mandate should be considered when reviewing applications. And I also have the full trust that the EXCO, who is appointing coordinators and team members, will not take this into consideration when reviewing applications. And also what came forward in the discussion that we had during our regional assembly is that the amount of individual members on the IPSF team, the number of individual members on the IPSF team is really quite low, especially in the context of the IPSF budget. So it's not really a point of concern for the region.
Okay, I have a clarification by Jan.
Yes, yeah, IPSF Afro chairperson. I don't know if it's the right time to give the C, but the clarification was for the issue of the completing success. So it's taking us back. I don't know if that's acceptable.
Yes.
Or we need to finish.
No,
yes,
you
so
can go ahead.
Okay. Right. So I wanted to confirm with Bram that, you know, this I'm still on the mandate completed successfully issue, because there are criteria for some team members where you can say, okay, mandate has been successfully completed. But then for other team members, especially subcommittee members, it may be difficult. So I think that point should be taken a bit more seriously. And if there is further work to be done to define that it should be done, not just to leave it open to say that the EXCO or treasurer can decide if the mandate was completed successfully. No, it should be like the procedure should be well laid down for this to pass, or else just leaving it open successfully can mean so many number of things. And one person judging if someone's mandate has been successful, you know, it makes it a bit complicated. So unless we have that, I think we should take that little clause in there a bit more seriously. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have a clarification by BPSA UK, I think.
Sebastian, BPSA UK. I wasn't aware that subcommittee reports aren't approved in certain RAs. Is there a reason why those aren't approved in RAs? Thank you.
So just as a clarification, it's not mandated by the official documents to have them approved at the regional assembly. It's yeah. Yes, BPSA UK.
Sebastian, BPSA, is it in the official documents that they have to be approved?
No, so in the official documents, there is nowhere stated that subcommittee reports or committee reports have to be accepted by, approved, either by EXCO, General Assembly, Regional Assembly, whatsoever. Okay, clarification by BPG Germany.
Max, BPD Germany 33. Yes, the clarification, not a point. In that case, is it possible to amend, like it's not an amendment, just a question. Is it possible then to amend this motion in a way to include change of the official documents, to have the subcommittee members' reports also accepted in all of the RAs? Yes or no? Thank you.
Give us 1 second, please. Okay, after consulting with the Secretariat and the motions committee, this cannot be amended to this motion, as it would need to be a different motion, and the deadline for submitting motions has passed. So no. Next, we have a direct by Bram.
Yes, thank you very much, Bram IPSF, you're chairperson. So I don't think with this motion is the way to be making new regulations for the approval of any other subcommittee reports, or how to determine whether a mandate has been successfully completed. If there is no system in place for the respective position, then we as a region believe that it is sufficient for either the regional working group or the EXCO to decide, as they are the ones elected to and also have the trust of the GA to be leading the federation for a year. And where there are no systems in place, it's up to the regions to create those systems with different means. But for now, we think the wording of the motion is sufficient. But if the GA does not agree, then they can amend the motion to specify IPSF executive committee and regional working group members, for example. But this is not something that we as a region want.
Thank you, Bram. Next, we have a direct by BPG Germany.
Direct from BPG Germany, Max 33. In that case, it's not an amendment, but in that case, I would propose that we say that it's the EXCO member who supervises the subcommittee who has to approve of it, since they know best about the work that the subcommittee is doing or has done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, BPG. Give me a second. Okay, so after for motions committee and secretariat, it's a bit hard for us to assess because like a proposer is a whole regional assembly, and there cannot be like any. It's impossible to assess the whole Euro opinion now if we could change this motion. So the only thing is probably that would be the best way if there is an amendment stated, it would then if anyone wants to amend this motion, we need a proposer and a seconder for an amendment if anyone wants to amend something. Thank you. Okay, so for now, I will move on with the directs, and I hope all of these.
Yeah, this Sebastian Vixen UK, this is still related to the original new point. I just want to say before we think about amendments and go down this rabbit hole, as the motion reads, it would allow reimbursements to happen regardless of what region you are in. If you're an individual member, that still exists, and we still removed that financial barrier from every single region. It would be much more effective to hold fire for now, and then in the future, change official documents so that all the regional assemblies are brought in line with each other, and reports have to be accepted at every regional assembly. I'm not sure why this doesn't happen anyway, but I feel like this is a much better solution to changing or amending this motion. Thank you, because at the moment it benefits every single region regardless. Thank you.
Thank you, BPSA UK, and also clarification from just for BPHD Germany, as Bram stated that Euro will not change the wording. You as a Euro member organization cannot amend this motion. Next, we have a direct from IPSA Malaysia.
Hello, thank you. This is Jessica, IPSA Malaysia. So I'm going to talk about the subcommittee thing, because it doesn't matter we change the word into supervised or approved by president or treasurer, there is still a possibility of biasness that can happen in it. So what we suggest is we shall standardize the way we gonna approve the subcommittees. Maybe certain regions that don't include this in RAs, because RA is already taking a long schedule. And if to have all subcommittees to present it, I'm not so sure how long will it take for each RA. Or another suggestions I can give is to include EXCO KPI, where KPI shall be accessed by both EXCOs as well as other subcommittees that's working in the group. But I think this will be left under discussion by the EXCOs and all RAs.
Point of information, BPSA UK.
BPSA UK, just on the point that subcommittee reports take a long time. I've been to 3 RAs and they've all been very, very quick. Thank you.
Point of information, Brown.
So I would like to just clarify what is the procedure for a regional subcommittee member that, for example, has been inactive during the mandate. Usually after contacting this person several times and not getting any response, the issue is then brought to EXCO to dismiss this person. And then after the approval of the EXCO, the person is dismissed from their position. So this is really not much different than determining whether somebody has successfully completed their mandate or not. So in a way, we are already doing this, and we as a region do not agree that this is subjective. We believe that the people that we are electing for EXCO and regional working group positions have the capacity and the trust to determine these kinds of things.
Okay, so also just like as a clarification, yes, the all regional assemblies or all regional office has a different number of subcommittees. So just to have this clarified. Not maybe in some RA it would take less than 3 minutes, but all regional offices have a different number of subcommittees, and therefore subcommittees reports to be accepted. Okay, next we have Sarah.
Thank you, Jelena. Sarah Ibrahim, IPSF Training Coordinator. So just maybe I'll suggest something just to relieve the exhaustion of reviewing everything. Maybe we can add for on the first phrase something about positions mentioned in the official documents that submit a report approved by GA or RAs. And this way we can eliminate all of this exhaustion of reviewing reports. Thank you.
Sarah, could you repeat it once again?
Yeah, okay. I'm suggesting editing the first phrase, so it will suggest the positions mentioned in the official document that submit a report approved by the GA or RAs.
Okay, so the point is, thank you for your feedback, Sarah. It's just like only member associations can propose an amendment to the motion. Okay, thank you. Next, we have GPSA Ghana.
Priscilla, CPGPC Ghana. Well, this is actually a direct on what was stated earlier with regards to the subjectiveness of the successful mandate, where we understand we understand the backing of the region that is proposing this this motion, and we are not disputing it. The point GPSA is trying to make is that yes, you are trusting someone to make the analysis of if someone's mandate was successful or not, but there should still be some ground rules to it. We're not saying it's a wrong motion or whatever. We're just saying let there be some ground rules. Whoever is making the analysis should have a guide to look on to say A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, then we move with this. That is what we're trying to say, and we'd really be glad if you just understand. Thank you.
Okay, guys, once again, we see a lot of directs, and I think we lost a bit of track there. Honestly, I don't even remember what the new comment was before. So can we just move on those who to the new points, because I feel like these are not directs anymore. Because it's very switching, the topic is very switching. Okay, thank you so much. And if you want to, please register as a new point as well. Okay, thank you. If you want to state something, you can register as a new point. Okay, so that we have the right order. Next, we have Ya.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, for IPSF chairperson. I hope you can hear me. I'm still,
yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you. I'm still of the issue on defining the successfully. And I'm saying this because of experience, what we experienced in my region this mandate. Because if you do not have, we're trying to do something where we assess the subcommittees, but you realize that if you do not have specific criteria that is agreed upon, either in the official documents or in the regional assembly, it becomes an issue if you are just asking one person, RWG or EXCO, to claim if someone is successful in their mandate or not. That is why team reports and EXCO reports are agreed upon by the GA. Having a successful mandate is not the same as being responsive or unresponsive, because in that essence, we can dismiss you. But you can have an unsuccessful mandate and still get to the end of the mandate without much repercussions, because here you do not have a report that people can look upon and see he had a successful mandate or not. And because only one individual works with the subcommittees, it's difficult for others to also have an opinion rather than the report. So in the end, one person is still going to control what is done. I don't know if you get the example that I'm giving. And this is something that deals with money and reimbursement. So my issue that I am having is the successful mandate completion should be uniform and then well agreed upon, because this is an issue with reimbursements, so that we are not faced with any issues in the future, because we can just overlook it, go, and then it will create issues in the future. So please, let's really look at this and let's sort that issue out instead of just leaving it for something to happen before we react. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Once again, there is rather always the same discussion about the subcommittee reports and how criteria and so on. So maybe we can move it a bit more efficiently to only provide new information. And we have a point of information by Bram.
Thank you, Elena. I just want to say that what the representative from the Afro region, their colleague Xiao, is saying is simply not true. It's not true that one person will control whether somebody is dismissed, and it's not true that one person will control whether somebody would get a reimbursement. In order for this to go through the regional working group and EXCO, you really need to clarify what is the situation and have a very good summary of facts and things that happened in order for everyone to make a calculated opinion.
Thank you, Bram. Next we have João.
João, IPSF president, I will be commenting on my personal capacity. So regarding the proposal that was made on the report on the point, like I think it will be always very difficult for us to create an abstract way of evaluating if a mandate is successful or not. So I think the best way to do it is if the person didn't resign or wasn't dismissed until the end of the mandate, we considered it a successful mandate, and we do not relate this to any report or KPIs or anything subjective. So I really think that we cannot keep any longer the discussion in GA trying to define what is a successful or not successful mandate. People throughout the years, if this motion is approved, they will need to decide very concretely what they will do, if they will reimburse or not. So it needs to be very specific. And so far, the definition for IPSF of a successful mandate was if it was completed or not completed for the positions that do not have a mandatory report. So I think that we should we should stick with this option. Thank you.
Thank you, João. Next we have back to the new points, GPSA Ghana.
Dropped, sorry.
I think it's a procedural motion.
Yeah, procedural.
Yes. Oh, sorry, GPSA. I didn't see you. Okay, GPSA Ghana. What's your procedural motion?
I think Sebastian inputted it before me, so maybe he should go ahead.
So it's regulated that the proposer cannot, or Sebastian, please state fast what your procedural motion is, but just as a clarification, the proposer, because you're a Euro member organization, the proposer cannot propose to close the discussion on their own motion, if that's what you want to do.
Sebastian Bubsik, I'd like to propose an amendment.
Once again, as clarified before, because Bram stated and we cannot assess the whole regional assembly, no Euro MO can propose an amendment to the motion. Okay, so GPSA Ghana, what's your procedural motion?
Priscilla, GPSA Ghana, I'd like to propose that we close the floor for discussion and move to voting. Thank you.
Okay, do I have a seconder for this? I see seconded by KNEP's Republic of Korea, and please give us a minute to, yes, to prepare the procedural motion. Thank you. Okay, so the vote has been opened. It's procedural motion 5. Please vote as soon as possible. Thank you. Okay, so we still have 4 member organizations left. Okay, so we only have Kufus Qatar left. Okay, so Kufus Qatar, we still see you in the room. Are you there? Please vote as soon as possible because we need to close it in less than 30 seconds. Thank you. Okay, so we came to a conclusion, and with 24 in favor and 6 against, the procedural motion has passed. Therefore, the floor for discussion has been closed, and we can move on to voting procedure. Thank you. Okay, so we still have 13 full members left voting. I will kindly ask you to vote as soon as possible. Thank you. Okay, so we still have left PhD Germany, LPSA Lebanon, and QFIS Qatar. Please vote as soon as possible and let us know if you have any difficulties. Okay, once again, only QFIS Qatar left. You have 1 minute. And please, QFIS Qatar, if you have any difficulties, let us know. Because we see you in the room. And yeah, please let us know if you're here or if you face any difficulties. Okay, so the vote has been closed. Can we have the results on the screen? Okay, so the results can be seen on the screen. It's motion 54. This, the 67th IPSF General Assembly, mandates the individual membership fee to be reimbursed after an individual member completes a successful mandate as an IPSF team member. This reimbursement being scaled for the duration of the corresponding mandate that was successfully completed. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. And the results can be seen on the screen. We reached simple majority, therefore the motion was carried. And just as a quick note before we close the session, as we extended the session again quite a bit, I just want kindly to remind you that as we have seen on the last few motions, there have been some abstentions. And I would kindly remind you that abstentions means that you do not have enough information to vote either in favor or against this motion. And as we have seen that there was less interaction in some agenda points, but still abstentions, we would kindly ask you to use the open floor for discussion to get the information you need to come to a decision, okay? So yes, for the next agenda points, I think it's clarified, but I will mention again, we will have the last second round elections, HLM applications, and the rest of the incoming motions. Okay, thank you so much. I will kindly ask a proposer and seconder to resume to suspend the standing orders proposed by Up Portugal, seconded by Anne France. We will vote on this. Anyone who is against suspending the standing orders, please type against in the chat. I see no one typing, therefore the standing orders have been suspended. Thank you, and yeah, see you next time. Bye.